It's Dana Pope Jr., Master Executive 8. If you're looking for the science of the Hermetic principle of cause and effect, then you're in the right place. I'm about to reveal the science behind the Hermetic principle of cause and effect that can better help you understand this principle without you having to search all over the internet to bring this information together yourself. I understand that not knowing the science behind the principle of cause and effect can leave you ignorant to the fact that you are the cause for your own opinions, actions, and lifestyle. This can be frustrating because you will think that you have no control over the effects in your life. We all understand cause and effect on a basic level. So here we attempt to go a bit deeper into the science of the Hermetic principle of cause and effect that will help raise your awareness to the law that everything is subject to the law of cause and effect, and nothing happens by chance. Chance is just the law of causation and action that is beyond our understanding. So, to a majority of the population, forgive me, y'all. Let me get my pictures up for you guys. Pull these up a little bit. All right, so to a majority of the population, the principle of cause and effect is pretty obviously understood. Despite this understanding by the general public, this principle still found its way into the Kybalion, which would mean that there was still more to this principle than was already known. So the Kybalion says it like this: every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. The Kybalion. The great sixth Hermetic principle, the principle of cause and effect, embodies the truth that law pervades the universe, that nothing happens by chance, that chance is merely a term indicating cause existing but not recognized or perceived. The phenomena is continuous without break or exception. So the Kabbalion is concerned with the principle of cause and effect on a deeper level. The concept of causation is the foundation and is what is commonly known about the principle. I'm sorry, the concept of correspondence is the foundation and is what is I'm sorry, the concept of causation is the foundation, and it is what is commonly known about this principle. The Kybalion says it like this: it is true indeed that not a sparrow drops unnoticed by the mind of the all, that even the hairs on our head are numbered. As the scriptures have said, there is nothing outside of the law. There are many planes of causation. Nothing escapes the law. From here, we are going to talk more about understanding this principle on a deeper level and seeing how it relates to the universe that we live in. So, earlier in the series, we made the connection between the supernatural and the laws of nature. We showed how they are in harmony with each other and how the supernatural does not violate natural laws. This truth is present in all degrees of reality. The causality in Hermeticism does not refer to the earthly understanding of the principle according to the most commonly understood workings. The Kybalion is describing cause and effect from its occurrence on different levels of reality. So, the principle of correspondence describes the levels of reality we are referring to and is directly related to cause and effect. For example, when we think about miracles, we often see them as something that goes against natural laws. When we observe closely, we can actually use the laws of nature to describe what's happening in these miracles. However, you have to go beyond the superficial understanding of the laws. We also talked about in the science of the principle of mentalism about Hilbert space and how it is reality on a deeper level as a quantum probability space that the simulation called reality emerges from. So when this all is tied into quantum cognition, we see that our minds take part in the emergence of reality from that quantum probability space. The collective unconscious is a concept originally defined by psychoanalyst Carl Jung, sometimes referred to as the objective psyche. It refers to the idea that a segment of the deepest unconscious mind is genetically inherited and is not shaped by personal experience. So, collective unconscious is another way of talking about the quantum probability space underneath reality. He describes this space as containing archetypes and forms. Our physical world we see corresponds with the archetypes and forms in Hilbert space. This is where the cause and effect principle expands on this idea. So, if everything we know about our physical reality emerges from and corresponds to archetypes in the mental world, then what is in the physical world can be changed from the archetypes in the mental world. Also, because of the spiritual and mental worlds being where the emergence of archetypes in the physical world start, then changes in these realms would be causative in nature. For example, telekinesis is the ability to move objects at a distance by mental power or other non physical means. If we look at the correspondence of the mental being the cause for the physical, we can see how telekinesis can be uh, possible. So, quantum cognition suggests that our mental state and a quantum state are synonymous. In principle, our an external object could be entangled with this inner mental quantum state. If focus is applied from the mental space with the intent on locking into the program behind the object, someone could, in principle, move it. So, we're going to talk about quantum tunneling. So, quantum tunneling is a phenomenon where an atom or a subatomic particle can appear on the opposite side of a barrier that should be impossible for the particle to penetrate. There is no, this is no different than telekinesis. The only difference is the tunneling in telekinesis is done with mental intention due to the mental nature of the wave function. So, because telekinesis works on the same physics, it is a great place to test the principle of cause and effect. So, the Global Consciousness Project, also known as the GCP, also called the EGG Project, is a parapsychology experiment begun in 1998 as an attempt to detect possible interactions of global consciousness with physical systems. They do test they do the test we're talking about here. For one such test, they use random event generators, which are designed to give completely random output, such as letters and numbers. For example, the letters A, H, S, C, U, P, W, which are random and have no significance. With no attachment at all to the regs or the random event generators, Jan asked his subjects to endeavor to influence the machine's output exclusively using their minds. In the case of a random number generator, for instance, they were asked to influence the output to be higher or lower than the previous number. No one was asked to bend spoons or move furniture. So the results of these tests were so small, they would normally go unnoticed or be disregarded by the scientific community. However, when composited over the thousands of snippets of data acquired, the results, in fact, amounted to something more significant. Let me see, do I have any pictures here of what we're talking about right now? No. So we'll just put this here because this is the next thing we're going into. So remember though, this data culled from 25 years of research, not some junk science that is easily dismissed. That much empirical data gathered under scientific conditions is difficult to repudiate. Something interesting happens during these experiments when there is a significant event that draws the focus of the public consciousness. The numbers spike, meaning the predictions become more accurate than if there wasn't a correlation to a cause. So during major international events such as 9/11 or the death of Princess Diana, there was extreme upward movement in the graphs. Indeed, it was feasible to foretell intensified graph activity when a major event was approaching. So during 9/11, the odds spiked with a recorded 1 in 35 increase. So while some might be inclined to disregard the Global Consciousness Project as junk science, we must keep in mind that the study was not just supervised by Nelson. It had contributions from 75 respected international scientists. So although these spikes were significant, it doesn't equal a conclusion that telekinesis is proven. The results obtained from these projects have come from many events, from the trial runs run by the GCP over the length of the project. So the 5 Sigma rule is the gold standard for verifying a theory or discovery. So basically, it's the standard for something to be scientifically proven. The results accumulated over time from the results of the trial runs is a result of 7.31 sigma. The odds of something occurring at 7 sigma by chance alone is 1 in a trillion, meaning there's definitely a cause to the effects of the trial runs. So the standard model of particle physics predicts that a Higgs boson would decay into different particles, which the LHC experiments then detect. Both ATLAS and CMS gave the level of significance of the results as 5 sigma on the scale that particle physicists use to describe the certainty of a discovery. So the Higgs boson, or the God particle, is the fundamental particle associated with the Higgs field, a field that gives mass to other fundamental particles such as electrons or quarks. So a particle's mass determines how much it resists changing its speed or position when it encounters a force. So the phenomena of telekinesis that the GCP observed is a higher sigma level than the existence of the God particle. So if one agrees with the benchmark of the sigma rule and believes in CERN's discovery of the Higgs boson field, then it would make sense that they also would believe in the existence of telekinetic phenomena. So if all what was previously described is believed, then to not believe would be unjustified and biased. So furthermore, this also means that the odds of the results of the trials run by the GCP that refer to telekinetic phenomena not occurring would be greater than 1 in a trillion. So many scientists, despite all of these facts, still doubt the reality of the results. So the only reason for doubt is rooted in the loss for words in explaining this mysterious occurrence, because there is no scientific theory that can explain what is going on. This is where the understanding on a quantum hermetic level comes in, because hermetic metaphysics has the ability to explain the mysterious phenomena going on, and unlike the doubting scientist, does not reject the evidence just because there is no scientific theory to explain the mechanisms underlying telekinetic phenomena. So if one were to reject the notion that you need a scientific theory to believe the evidence, then you can see that the principles of cause and effect, um, by the understanding of the Hermeticist, has its foundation in science. So despite this evidence-based foundation, because of things like free will and quantum probability, causation is still openly disregarded. Although free will and quantum probability affect cause and effect, they mostly go unnoticed. So we also have to keep in mind that we are not in our full power in this dimension, and we have fallen from our original states. Thus, we mostly lack full access to the mental plane of the collective consciousness. This is why we aren't able to have influence over our environments directly, because we are somewhat disassociated and separate from the collective on the mental plane. So if you're interested in discovering more about the science of the Hermetic principles, then be sure to check out the Quantum Hermetica at the first link in the description. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos helping you with mental alchemy and more. Check out this playlist of my top 7 videos of the Hermetic principle, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.